Hello, this is D. Allen with Life Lesson Sports. So I wanted to talk about, Shedeur Sanders, his first start in the NFL against the Las Vegas Raiders. And, there's been a lot of opinions about that. He came in their last game, after halftime and went like 4 for 16, 47 yards, a pick, 25% completion percentage. His QBR rating was, 13 or something like it was pretty low. And so a lot of people had a lot of things to say about his performance. And at first glance, watching the game in real time, I think you may have thought, wow, he played so bad and, he just was unprepared looking and, all of these negatives. Rewatch the game and the tape tells a whole nother story. Shedeur actually played pretty good. Yes, he did make some mistakes, but he played well and put his team in a position down the stretch to win the game. If the one receiver would have caught that ball in the end zone, it would have potentially tied the game, taken the lead. They could have won the game, and it would have been a whole nother narrative. But it was a lot of bad football on display during that second half of that game, whether it was blown blocking assignments by the offensive line, by the running back, receivers just running bad routes. I mean, the quarterback looking downfield into certain things, and it looks really bad. You got three receivers in the same spot. Nobody's open. It was just a lot of stuff. So it wasn't everything that you thought it may have been at first glance, real time, the game is happening. And so I would encourage you to, Kurt Warner has a YouTube video out where he breaks down the second half. And he does a really nice job of simplifying it, breaking it down, summarizing everything, pointing everything out. And he explains what was going on. So I would encourage you, if you haven't, check out Kurt Warner's breakdown of that game. And he wasn't on anybody's side or against anybody. He simply explained what he saw on tape and what he knows and what the quarterback is looking for in certain situations. And it's a really good teaching video that any quarterback, any football player can learn from, or any fan can learn from. I learned a ton from what he said. And, one thing that a lot of people have differing opinions on is Shedeur didn't get any first team reps with the starters. Never have. And his first time getting them was when he came into the game in the second half. And, some people are saying, well, he's a backup. That's how it goes. And other people are saying that that's ridiculous and this and that. And, me personally, I didn't play in the NFL. I didn't play in college. I played in high school. But I didn't play at those other levels. And before I even get started, I'm not here to criticize the Browns coaching staff, management, decisions they making. Look, this is their industry. I'm not an expert in their industry. Football entertains me. I like watching it. I'm entertained by it. But in terms of working in that industry, I have no idea. So I'm not here to judge that. I've coached football before, even on the high school level. So I have an idea of certain things, but I'm not here to criticize how the Cleveland Browns handled this or handled that, and they should have done this or they should not have done this or that. Nope, I'm not doing that. But I'm curious about, hey, how are reps typically handed out? And so because I lack experience, I don't know. One time I was fortunate to attend an NFL team's practice. Knew somebody that worked for an organization, and this person invited me and a buddy to where we went and watched an NFL team a full practice, which was really really cool. It was my first time and only time actually experiencing that. So that's the extent of my knowledge or experience regarding an NFL practice and how things are conducted and so forth. And I'm sure each team, each organization handles things differently. I don't think there's any rules that dictate reps and how, quarterbacks are supposed to get reps, and it's up to the head coach, that organization, I'm sure. And each organization may handle it completely different than the other. You may find some similarities with some teams and not so much with other teams. So I'm not here to bash them. But I was curious, and so I'm fortunate to have a good friend that I played football with in high school that ended up playing football, playing quarterback, even the starting quarterback at a major Power 4 Big Ten school. And not only that, he also played in the NFL. After college, he signed a free agent deal with an NFL team and made the team. So I'm like, hey, let me ask him, because he beat all the odds. He signed as a free agent as a quarterback in the NFL and made the team. And not only did he make the team, in his first season, he ended up for a game or two being the backup quarterback. So I asked him, I said, hey, is it typical? I said, hey, does the backup quarterback, in your experience, get reps with the first team? And this, in summary, is what he told me. He said, well, yes, the backup quarterback does. He said it seems like in Shedeur's situation is that they were treating him like the third string quarterback, even when he was in the second string or backup quarterback role. He told me that when he was in the league, let's say the offense runs 20 plays, and let's say his team 20 plays. The backup gets 5 of those plays. and he said that was commonplace on the NFL team that he played for. And I won't go into who this person is that I'm talking about, or who the NFL team and college team and so forth. But he clearly said the backup quarterback runs with the first team offense. And so for me, that made sense because I know everybody's talking about reps, 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 reps. You got to get reps. You got to get reps. I've even heard players talking about stealing reps, that whatever they can do to get reps, they got to get reps. So I understand how important reps are, especially on the NFL level, and all of the intricacies that go into preparation, the things that these defensive coordinators are going to throw at them. And it can be very complex. And what are you seeing? What is the defense doing? Where do you need to go with the ball? Whether it's to a receiver, to a hot receiver, and I mean to a receiver downfield, or a hot receiver, if this person blitzes, or if you just throw the check down, or if you just get rid of the ball and live to fight another day. You don't, what I've heard NFL quarterbacks, even a Hall of Famer say, you don't want to make a bad play worse as a quarterback. And so you need to be able to process everything that's going on and make the best decision. Okay. And so it just seemed really odd to me that Shedeur has never gotten any reps with the first team. But again, I'm not here to judge the organization, and I'm sure there's no rule in the NFL that dictates that. Maybe maybe the players union, maybe that's something they'll negotiate in or something. I don't know. Or the owners will, in their annual meetings and the rules, when they're looking at rules and different things, maybe they'll do that one day. But there's nothing saying that they have to do it one way or the other. But it was strange to me, so I asked somebody that had firsthand experience in that, and he said, yeah, the backup gets reps. So, I'll take that, and that made sense to me. Why wouldn't the backup get any reps? I understand the starter needs to get all of the reps that he can, but this person is one play from having to go in the game. So in order to reduce risk, why not give that person some reps? All the coach got to do is give them some reps, But hey, neither here nor there. Coach and manage your team the way you see fit. Now, I'm going to leave that there. Now, how do I think Shedeur is going to do in his first game as a starter, a full week of prep? I think he'll do great. I think we'll see improvement, because even in the last game where he came in at halftime, his eyes were in the right place. He was making some good decisions. Jay Gruden, former NFL head coach, he gave a nice breakdown too. It wasn't a video breakdown in terms of how Kurt Warner did it, but he went back and rewatched it, and he gave a great breakdown as well. And as people are rewatching that game, they're saying, wait a minute, Shedeur actually played well. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but he settled in and played well, and it didn't look as what it seemed in real time. It didn't. And so I think with a full week of practice, Shedeur is going to play a lot better. His stats will look a lot better. Um, I don't know if he'll win the game, or if the team will win the game, or if he'll, throw for 300 yards and 3 and 4 touchdowns and all of these things. I will say this. Shedeur is he's a smart guy, and he knows how to prepare, and he's proven when you give him quality time, it shows up on the field. Even in the preseason, when he prepped against the Carolina Panthers, he played very well that game. I don't know if it was against the first teamers or not, maybe the glorified second team folks. I'm not sure, but he looked really good after being given an opportunity to prepare and to start in that preseason game. And then, you may have some people say, "But yeah, what about the Rams? He looked like trash against the Rams." And I think, yes, Shedeur has to play better, but I think even in that, it matters who you're playing with. And if people think that doesn't matter, then they don't understand the sport. At the end of the day, it comes down to players making plays. It's the players, period. Yeah, you can have some good coaching and some good decision making in the game that the coaches are providing and all of these things. But it's like, okay, who are the players? Who's on the field? Who are you throwing the ball to? Who's throwing all of these things? It boils down to the players executing the plays, because they're the ones out there doing it. So it matters. But I think Shedeur should have been the first quarterback off the board during this past 2025 draft. And a lot of other people thought that too, including Mel Kiper Jr. He thought he was the best quarterback on the board. And so that's, in my opinion, is who's been given a full week of prep time with the first team to prepare for the Las Vegas Raiders in an environment in Vegas where they're playing inside. It's no weather conditions. It's comfortable. It's a good vibe. It's a good place for him, I think, to have his first game starting in the NFL. It's going to be pleasant, very comfortable in that stadium. And so I anticipate he's going to do well. When you give, Shedeur has proven, and me personally, I followed his career. So, you can say what you want to say. I followed his career, and I've seen how he's responded. Shedeur was a very good quarterback in high school. He was a very good quarterback at Jackson State. He's a very good quarterback at Colorado. And he's a good quarterback now. And so I think it'll show up this week in the game, or this next game, I'll say, as to who he is as an NFL quarterback. And I believe you're going to see why the experts, one in particular, Mel Kiper Jr., believe he should have been the first quarterback taken off the board. People like to throw that, oh, he's a fifth rounder. He's a fifth rounder. You know what? That is a fact. That's a fact. He was drafted in the 5th round. But as we all know, facts can be different from the truth. Facts can be very, very different from the truth. And Shedeur Sanders is the truth. And hey, the truth will make you free. And I believe that's exactly what's getting ready to happen in Shedeur Sanders' first game. It's the energy that was in the stadium when he came in. I saw just teammates. I saw it. I saw it. And he's a quality player. And it's getting ready to show up. Now, he comes out, plays well, or not. People are saying, well, what are the Browns going to do? Are they going to go back to Dylan Gabriel, or are they going to start Shedeur? I don't know what they'll do. After the last game, the head coach said, "Hey, if Gabriel is healthy, he's going to go with him. He's the starter." So we'll see what happens after this next game, regardless of how Shedeur plays. We'll see. I think he's going to play really well, really good. I do, and so I'll be watching. But I just wanted to come on, talk about that, give my take, and give information from a former NFL quarterback about this rep thing, because it was. I just wanted to know more about that, and you've had high level gold jacket Hall of Fame players saying, well, the backups don't get any, and then you've had other players saying, yeah, they get some. They might not get a lot, but they get some. So it's a mixed bag. And so I went and asked a former NFL player that played the quarterback position, and hey, he said if it's 20 reps on offense team, the backup is going to get 5 of those reps. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But he threw out the number 5 out of 20. So I'm going to run with that. So I just wanted to talk about that. I thank you for hanging out with me. And again, this is D. Allen with Life Lesson Sports.